Well, hello there guys, and welcome back to the channel. So we do have update on nightmare raids and compensation. This is going to be the second compensation along the 7 wonderful revives that Kabam sent out. This time around it does seem that there will be a more substantial package sent out. And overall the response here is about as good as it gets from Kabam. And that's great. However, as for me personally, this still doesn't really change much. And I'll explain that. So, two things can be true at the same time. I do think this post is about as good as we have seen from Kabam. I do think this is the best compensation that they have sent to us. But I do have my doubts. Therefore, I am still going to maintain the position of just not spending. And taking a look at how things go in general. Also, as a disclaimer, I didn't get to play Nightmare Raids, so I'm not gonna get this compensation, even though our alliance was meant to play them. There was a glitch with the game, as far as I know, and we just got enrolled into the normal Nightmare Raids. So this is all number one. I didn't get to deal with all of the Nightmare fights personally. And number two, this is also something that I'm going to be missing out on, which obviously stings kind of even more now, but I'll let it be. Either way, the compensation to every summoner who partook in Nightmare Raids, whether completed or not, is as follows. 180 raid tickets, 1 light essence, 1 titan crystal, 1 7-star crystal, 5 million gold, 2 tier 6 class catalysts, 1 tier 4 alpha catalyst, 5,000 glory. That's an amazing compensation, and congratulations to every single one of you who are receiving it. So let's go over the post. It is a bit lengthy, but I'm gonna try and distill the essence of it. So over the past week, we have spent a lot of time gathering feedback of Nightmare Raids from various sources. Nightmare Raids are supposed to be difficult. However, we also want them to be something that's fun, engaging, and overall less of a pain than they currently are. I think it's fair to say that we missed the mark on the latter half of the goal during the first iteration. We have some plans to address that. First things first, clearly didn't hit the standard, and we remain committed in hitting that high mark. Compensation. So I listed out the compensation. Now let's talk about the week for raids 2. Next time you see Nightmare Raids, you can expect to see the following node changes. The removal of phase nodes, fight timers increased from 3 minutes to 5 minutes, tuning adjustments to the crush penance on Apocalypse. With the introduction of Nightmare Raids, we have realized that we added too much complexity all at once. We still want you to chase a higher level of difficulty for this content, but we understand that it is currently not the right type of difficulty. With that, we'll be removing phase nodes for the upcoming Nightmare Raids, as we are still aiming for the pinnacle of difficult AQ content. We'll be targeting an increase in defender HP as a safer way to do this. Coupled with the longer fight timers, summoners will be met with less complex fights alongside an avenue to ramp up their attacker to deal satisfying damage. Finally, we have heard many say that the crash passive on Apocalypse was too warping to deal with. We'll move to addressing this by lowering the difficulty of penance, likely by reducing its duration, but we might move in a different direction after further testing. As for defender changes, you can expect to see the following: reduce Korg Storm damage even further, remove Jabari Panther's Cleanse, remove Apocalypse's Stun into block. There you go. Those are the plans. It's no secret Korg was a major problem this past week. Going forward, his Thorns will be given a solid bump down from its current tuning to relieve the chip damage. Additionally, we found Jabari's Cleanse passive to interact poorly with too many of the roll boosts, and we feel like cutting it from her kit is the best avenue forward. Finally, Apocalypse's Stun into block is the key RPG element to his defender kit, and we feel like it's providing an adequate challenge in raids. But just like Jabari's Cleanse, it is interacting with too many of the roll boosts that require you to block. We want to ensure that players still have control over maximizing their boosts and damage, and we will be looking into them for more future updates if necessary. Along with these changes, we'll also be addressing some bugs. Reduction of raid's boss size, back to normal. Korg is becoming stun immune, certain roll boosts failing to provide raid fervor. There you go. We're also making some adjustments how raid force works, with the intent to help Dot champion shine more in raids. With the next round, we'll be increasing the damage boost to linger for 0.5 seconds after the hit to let dot damage ticks also gain the increased damage. This should be a huge bump in dot champion's overall DPS. I hope so. We'll be watching this one closely and we'll be looking at more role boosts and more balanced champion pools in the future. Finally, we'll be adding a champion swap node after the first boss of each path. We have heard that summoners feel that raids punish them if they choose the wrong attacker. Whilst this swap node will not allow you to change the role boost, you will be able to swap out your champion to an attacker that you feel might synergize stronger with your selected boost. This champion swap nodes only will be for your role and only present in nightmare raids. That's everything you can expect. Returns for round 2. In upcoming raid weeks, we'll be targeting a few more quality of life changes, aiming to address feedback for the players. This will come in form of a new node for any boss with kit change like Codex Purify being removed, called out node of the fight. We'll also be doing large sweep of all in-fight HUD elements to improve overall clarity. Final thing we'll be looking into will be creating a testing map to allow summoners to experiment with the champion and role boost combinations. We don't expect this to be out within the next few cycles of raids, but we are committed to allowing summoners to ensure they're arming themselves with the best role boost plus champion combo before they get into the raids. We'll elaborate more of this as we get closer to its release. We know that our players are not happy with round 1. We apologize that we missed the mark. We're committed to providing fun and engaging experience to each summoner in the Battle Realm and are confident that we'll be able to provide that experience in Nightmare Raids. We hope that you're excited about these changes and the future of raids. Thank you for sticking with us. So here's the thing. That genuinely is about as good of a post as I could have made, and the changes sound good. Swap node, awesome, if in case you do bring up a champion combination that doesn't work as well, and eventually being able to test out these combinations is insanely useful. Love that. It's good. It's definitely good. Here is the reason why it doesn't change my opinion of current state of the game much at all. Is because this is coming straight up after the community has kicked off and effectively people are boycotting and they are losing money. The initial response to the raids experience was, no, it's, there are some minor issues, but raids were meant to be hard. Now then, when several of the bugs and issues got highlighted, then the response was, you get 7 revives. That is the compensation. And I can guarantee you that without the outrage from the community, this compensation package would not exist. Kabam, in their hands, would genuinely think 7 revives is going to make it all good. And that would be appropriate compensation. And then there is this awesome compensations package. But that's already happening after, enough of an issue has been raised. When they finally get that they're genuinely losing money over this. And players. And that, this can be big and this can be painful. And don't get me wrong again here. I love this post. I hope Kabam makes this the new standard. But that's what it has to be. It can't be that this thing happens and then everything's cool and dandy and we're all good and Kabam is always perfect and they fix this issue so nothing else is wrong with the game. Again, raids, but a small part alongside battlegrounds of the current plagues in the game. Be that general attitude toward the players where initially Kabam thought that 7 revives is good enough. Be that so much of the game being completely outdated. Be that the existence of bugs. And be that the fact that we get untested content all the time. And if this is what we can look forward to with the next updates when they are inevitably bugged and hopefully less bugged than they have been, if this is what we can look forward to whenever Kabam is addressing issues in the game, good, awesome. then I think the game and the player-Kabam relationship is going to be in as good of a place as it can be. But we're not there. In one of my previous videos, I compared Kabam to a very, very shitty landlord that doesn't give a crap about anything as long as you keep paying the rent. You know, the house falling together, the windows are falling out, the roof is old and leaks, and you know, the house needs major reconstructions and renewals. It needs painting, it needs new appliances, it needs maintenance, which Kabam has not been doing. And this is the equivalent of effectively major problem occurring, rent being withheld from the landlord, and you contacting your lawyer saying that you will sue the landlord, and then the next day landlord shows up and replaces the windows. That's good, that's great, but it's a start. It's far from finished because the roof's still leaking, the foundations still need work, the house still needs painting, so on and so forth. And the fact that the landlord did show up, awesome, love it. The fact that he's putting in new windows, and in this case, you know, nice quality, best windows you have ever seen, that's great. But it can't go back to what it was. It can't go back to house being neglected all the time, regardless of, you know, how many complaints you issue with the landlord. And this is exactly where we're at. This is a very, very, very good start. But this has to become the new normal. When Kabam does fuck up, they do need to say, we messed up, we are sorry, here is the proper compensation, here is what we are doing to make it better. And the incentive, therefore, Kabam has to be, like, so we don't have to send out these massive compensations every time we release new content. How about we try to release the new content that's actually good and not bugged and working properly? And that's how it has to exist. Because we can't keep going over the same old cycle where Kabam does something, players get happy, and then everything turns to shit again, and then every update is bugged, and then every other game mode is shit, and then every game mode gets completely outdated, and then when eventually enough of a shit has been kicked up, and the fan has managed to scatter it in all areas of the room, then Kabam shows up and is like, okay, we're sorry, we're fixing something. We just need to change the idea that it's okay, it's acceptable, that, you know, that's how a game should be. No, it shouldn't. And this is how the game should be. When something does go wrong, there are clear steps to fix that. There's an apology, there's a compensation, and there is a very nice communication, including their future plans. That's good. I love it. But make this the new standard. That is what I'm talking about. And that is the type of thing that only we can see with time. That is the type of thing that we will be able to judge after the next live stream and after the next update. Minimum a couple of them, because again, eventually we're going to have some issues. There's going to be 9.2. There's going to be the new May Valiant quest. There's going to be the next seasons of Battlegrounds, so on and so forth. And then, if everything seems to be trending in the right direction, I'm going to be sure, guys, it seems that the game's doing well. But we are absolutely not there. Let me know what you guys think, and I'm going to catch you soon. Bye-bye. Hello there, guys, and welcome back to the channel. So we have all